of working which modifies lot of things in SDLC. Prior to the DevOps or prior to Agile, SDLC was a very normal thing. You need to wait for a long time. Waiting time is very high because of some development which has to complete. Then it will go for next phase of testing. So like that, it was very much time-taking process. But after Agile, it was much faster. And in case of DevOps, it is super. Means all the processes are interlinked. Everything is being trying to be automated and all the processes are talking with each other. So DevOps is a very faster way of delivering a product which involves or which actually takes the SDLC model into the consideration and works on top of that. So that's why we need to understand what is the SDLC. If you guys know, that's better. Who doesn't know, we will understand now what is the SDLC. Okay. Okay, fine. Let's see. So my screen is visible to all.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, fine. So basically, what is SDLC? Software Development Lifecycle. That means from somewhere before creating, before just forget about software, anything. Before coming up to a software, what's the first thing? It's a plan. Either some business people will plan or some audience will plan that we need, or a group of people will say that we need some kind of software solution for our requirement. So first thing is a planning or requirement analysis or requirement gathering. So that is the first phase of any software. Either it's a desktop based software or it's a web based application, anywhere, that's the first phase always will be the requirement analysis, or basically it's the idea thing. There will be an idea or there will be one requirement. So first we need to analyze the requirement, then analyze your software skill sets, whether you are able to provide any solution for that requirement or not. So initially it will be always a plan, then analysis, then it will go for any further process. Further process means you are going to develop a software or not. So first phase everywhere, it will be always a business phase, and that means it's a business planning. You are going to plan for your requirement. One requirement will be there, you need to plan accordingly how you can deliver the software for that requirement, everything, how much cost will be involved, how many people will be involved, what are the technologies we are going to use during this software development, everything will be decided. After that, if it's feasible, then it's a feasibility analysis. Feasible means whether we can do it or not. If we can do it, then how many days it will take, who will be involved in our project, team estimations, everything. That's the first phase you can see here. Let me just focus it. So that's the first thing, investigation or feasibility study, everything, it's about the business thing. Then the analysis phase, you are going to analyze. Once investigation feasibility it's done, that means you have investigated the requirement, you have done the feasibility study, yes, we can work on this requirement. Then we are going for analysis. What is the analysis? Technical analysis. How much time it will take, what are the languages we are going to use during the development, what are the tools we will use during the development or during testing, everything will be analyzed. And then it will go for the design. What's the design then? Design means you are going to tell how your application, it's the application label design. So application means code label designing you will be doing. So we are not going to work on the complete requirement. We will be having a big requirement, but at the same time we don't work on a big requirement. We just split it up, split it up into multiple requirements. If we are having a big requirement which will take a year of time, that does not mean we are going to develop a year of time and the testers will come after 1 year and they will test. No, it's not like that. We'll split it to each 1 week or 2 week basis. That splitting of requirement is being done at the design phase also. So those requirement will be splitted up, so that we'll do some development, testers will do some testing in each 1 week or 2 week. Those are the part of this design thing. Then we are going to do the development according to the languages we have decided, and we have recruited people, whoever are able to do or able to do coding on top of that language, they will start doing the development. That's the development phase thing. Development is going on, at the same time testing will also started. Testing, what testing people will do, they will test whatever developers have tested. This model what you are seeing here, this is a pretty old model. This is a waterfall. I'm just showing you as a SDLC, but this flow is a waterfall. Development will be completed, then it will go to the testing phase. But it's not like that now. Development is going on, testing is also going on parallelly. That's what is going on current scenario. So anyway, so once development is going on, at the same time testing also will be started. Testing is done, development is done, then it will go for implementation. What is implementation? You have to give your software. As I said, software might be you can be using on your computer, or it can be any web application. Web application means your Gmail, Facebook, these are all web applications. They are not website, they're web applications, because multiple background processes are being running over there. So that's why they are web applications. So two ways: either you are going to provide any desktop based solution or web based solution. So if you are providing desktop based solution, your software needs to be given to your customer so that they will install it, and they will see whether whatever you have implemented is correct or not. Or if it's a web based solution, then it needs to be installed or deployed in the servers. So servers, you guys have a knowledge about servers, right? Because some servers are there in the backend from where we are getting all our, whenever we are typing www.facebook.com or gmail.com, it's going somewhere and getting all those details. So it's going somewhere, that somewhere is your server location. So we are getting, and your applications are there in the server. So you need to install or deploy application in your servers. Basically whatever we are talking or will be talking in DevOps model or anywhere in the industry, it's all industry based application, and all industry based applications are mostly web applications. So it may or may not have web pages, but it will be all web applications. You need to host your application, or you need to deploy, or you need to install your application on servers. Once your application is installed, then you need to maintain means you need to regularly go and check whether your application is running properly or not, whether is there any overhead to your RAM or to the processor, anything is there or not. If any problem you can find, then you can note it down, and then again you can start working on that one. So this is why we should go for a maintenance. So basically this is our SDLC model, software development lifecycle. It starts from business analysis and it goes till maintenance. Means you are deploying your application, then you are trying to maintain your application. Once maintenance, that means you will get some details, or may get some errors, or may get some enhancements that will again be analyzed by the business people, and the complete process will run. That's why it's called software development lifecycle. And why we are seeing this one, or and why we are listening this one, or why we are learning? Because our DevOps model is going to be based on the SDLC only. But in case of DevOps, it's so much faster, so much productive way. This is what you are seeing here. This is like very synchronous. One process will complete, then another process is being started. Analysis going on till that time. Testing and development people are idle. Development people are doing their work. Testing and implementation people are idle. But no, in normal scenario or in case of DevOps model, it's not like that. Everyone is working parallelly and continuously. So that's what we want, so that our product will come in a very less time with higher productivity. So that's why, if you might have heard about a story like, don't go for a bunch of stick and split it and then break it. So that's what we are doing here. Don't We are not going with a complete big requirement. We are splitting up the requirement and working continuously, so that we are getting higher productivity with less time. And why we need that one? Everyone in the market is in competition. All the companies, all the product oriented companies, everyone is in the competition. So they want to deliver their features very frequently and very sharply before their rivals are coming up with the features. So how they can do it? Continuously working on the requirement, and with some new model of working. What's the new model of working? That's DevOps. That's why market trend is now DevOps. People who are having DevOps skill sets are being mostly chosen for the jobs. Anyway, let's see what is DevOps then. So as for this slide, you can see DevOps, development and operation process, all are integrated with each other. Earlier, it was not like that. Development people, they will be working separately. Development means I'm combining the development and testing people. They will work separately, but the operation people means what they will do. They are going to deploy your application. They are going to maintain your application. Their process is complete separate. They are not integrated with the development people. So what's the issue? You might be thinking, what's the problem with that? They are working in different way, we are working in different, so what's the issue? No, there is issue. because during deployment time or during installation of your product, they may face some issue. You have developed everything, you have tested everything properly, but during the deployment they face that something is not working, some environment issue is there, they are not able to install your product to the server. So that time what will happen, there will be delay. Again it will come to the development cycle, it will go through the testing cycle, then it will go for the deployment cycle. So you can think now how much time it will involve then. So if you are going to involve the operation people from the beginning of the development, that issue won't be there. They are not going to face this kind of issue. From the thing you are going to develop, same requirement you are going to test, same requirement you are going to deploy. So that means there won't be any problem in case of deployment at the end. You are just checking from the first, from the beginning of your development, that whether you are able to deploy or not. If you're because deployment is the last step of our product, that means we are going to deliver our product to the customer by the deployment phase. So that's why we want to include, or people or software industry wanted to include the operation people along with the development process also. This is why the name is called DevOps, development and operation. Earlier operation was completely separate, and people or companies faced that issue or that lagging during deployment time. If in deployment time there is a delay, obviously product won't go at the proper time. If product is not going at the right time, then you are losing the market. Definitely it's somewhere related directly to the money. If you are losing the market, then you are losing the money. So companies, they wanted like, no, we want operation people also be the part of the SDLC model properly, so that from the beginning only we will try with the deployment. So how we can do, the small requirement you are working on development, same requirement will be tested and same requirement also will be deployed. So that from the beginning only we will find whether we are able to deploy or whether we are having any issue, so that we can fix. At the end we are not going to find any error. From the beginning itself we will find the issues and solve it. So fine. So before going to any DevOps thing or anything, some of you have worked, some of you have never worked. So you will find lot of words SDLC, because always you are part of SDLC. Whether you are doing testing, whether you are doing development, whether you are doing operation, anywhere you are part of SDLC model. If you are into a software company, definitely somewhere, some part you are the participant of the SDLC model. If you are a part of SDLC model, then definitely DevOps is a must learning for you, because DevOps is a way which enhances 100 times better your SDLC. 100 times better way it explains and it works on the SDLC model. So that's why we all should have a DevOps knowledge. Anyway, so what is SDLC? Then deployment, you are going to deploy your application, development phase, servers are there, lot of terms you can hear here in your companies. Whoever have worked, they might have heard, and who are going to work, they will hear all these things. I am having deployment today, we are facing deployment issues, development phase is going on, error in production. In case of production there is error, development people are working properly, testing is also it's working fine, but in case of production it's giving error. Why this kind of things happens? Because there is some gap, there is a gap between the processes. So that should not be there. When that will be not there, that won't be there, you're going to deliver a nice product within a less time. And that's what every company wants. Features should come very early, very quickly, but that does not mean we will give some error thing. We have to provide the proper thing. And who is going to help us? DevOps is going to help us. That's why companies need DevOps, and definitely there is a high job scope for DevOps. So anyway, already we have discussed lot of SDLC models are there. Waterfall, those are all legacy models. Agile development, people who have worked, they might have heard about the term agile. Agile means continuously, frequently they have to do the development. Frequent changes will be adapted in case of agile development. So how we are going to adapt? Because we are going to work on the small requirements. If there is any change in the requirement, we can adapt it in any agile sprint. In case of agile, it's called sprint. That 1 week or 2 week span or 3 week maximum, it's a 4 week. The 4 week span we are going to work, or the 1 week span we are going to work on the requirement, is called a sprint. That sprint is there also in case of DevOps model. But in case of agile development, we have not included the operation, guys. There where it was the mistake. And In case of Agile, there is not so much automation of the tool. Some part is automated, but other tools are not there to be integrated and to run the process, complete SDLC process. So Agile, I'm not saying Agile was a failure. It was a big achievement for SDLC model. People worked very properly. Products get much more impacted during the Agile phase, but people still got some issue. Then it's the next phase is the DevOps, where we included the operation people along with the development life cycle. So anyway, so where we are actually, if we are working in an industry or if we are going to work, what we are doing, if we are going for project requirement planning, it's you are in the business team. Then you are in investigation or feasibility study phase. You are doing investigation feasibility study. That's a part of SDLC. Task assignment, you are going to assign tasks to the team member, to the developers, to the testers, to the operation people. We need to assign the task as per our requirement. That's the design phase. Then development, if you are doing development, then definitely you are the part of development phase. Version control system, whatever code you are writing, day by day the code gets changed. That needs to be managed. That's also a part of your development phase. Build and release. Build and release means your application, you have written lot of codes, lot of programs you have written. It's not like program will run automatically, or your project is just a single file. Project will be a combination of multiple files, hundreds of files, thousands of files. So thousands of files will be combined, and it will be one runnable package will be created out of your 1,000 files or out of your 100 files. That runnable package is called build. And what is release? Release means you are going to say to the testing team or to the production team that for this requirement we are releasing this build, or you can take this runnable package and you can run it. That's what called release. And release will always have a documentation that what features you are delivering. As I said, complete requirement we are not delivering on a single time. We have split it. So what requirement you have worked on and what requirement you are delivering, that much you need to give it to the operation team or to the testing team with a document. That's called release. Then test. What is test? If you are doing testing, functional testing, you are doing the functionality testing. That time you are working on the testing phase. Deployment. Once testing is done, build release is done, then you need to installing our code to the run in production phase. That is called deployment. Then deployment, once the code is deployed, then you need to install the production version. Production version means you are going to install the code in the production phase. Production phase means once the code is deployed, then you need to install the production version. Production version means
Um, Excuse me. Hey Piyush,
hello, can you guys hear me?
yeah, now. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, once application has been deployed, you need to go for the maintenance. So all these things, everything is being managed. Why we are learning all these things? Everything it will be managed by the DevOps automated process. So I'm audible to you guys, right?
Yes.
Okay, fine, thanks. So anyway, let's go ahead. So what were the issues? We are just understanding what were the background issues when we were into non-DevOps process. So that time process of working is mostly synchronous, as we have seen. So each process will wait for other process to complete. So all the processes in the diagram we have seen, all the processes are there. One process has to complete, then only the next process will start. So like that it has to be. Yeah, earlier, not now. Earlier it was like that. So in case of Agile, if you have guys have worked, some of you guys have worked on the Agile process, you might be saying, no, it's not work in that way. Definitely in Agile, it's not in a synchronous way. Agile, it's asynchronous, means parallelly the process will run, development will go, and testing also will go, but not the operations. So anyway, operation people has to wait in case of Agile also. So already whatever processes or whatever way of development we have adapted, all these things are time consuming or cost inefficient way. Why? Because if it's more time, then the cost involved is high. If the cost involvement is high, then it's not cost effective, it's cost inefficient way of working. So clearly showing lot of waiting time. So people might be thinking that Agile solved this issue. Definitely Agile solved 70% percentage of issue, but still Agile have some more thing to do. So we have come up with a solution, DevOps. So DevOps is going to solve the mistakes or the limitations of Agile. So people are saying like DevOps is a Agile extension. Definitely, as a DevOps is an Agile extension, but with more tools and more integration, more process oriented features. So anyway, operations means in case of Agile, operations are not in the relational chain. Now we want them to be, or we are making them as a part of our software development lifecycle, or we are making them part of our software development process through DevOps model. So anyway, lot of complaints and gaps are there from the development side when we were not using DevOps or not into Agile model. So development, after development and testing, the code deployment time is huge. If we are using Agile also, once deploy development and testing has been done, people has to wait for long time to deploy. Just think about a scenario: you have completed your development in October, you have started your development from January, and you have completed in the month of October, and then there is a deployment in the month of December. So once they will go for a deployment, they will find some issue and they will tell the development guy or testing guy that we are facing some of the issues. So what to do now? People who have developed something in the January month, they might have forgotten whatever they have done. So it's lot of headache and over the development and testing people when there is a delay in the deployment process. And obviously it's a business setback when there is a delay in the production or delay in the product delivery. So that's the real issue. I faced the same thing when I was not into the DevOps model. So you need to wait. I have developed something in the month of January and people are coming in the month of December and asking me, I'm facing some issue. That time I'm completely blank. What I have developed in the month of January, I completely forgot that one. So again, you need to go back, search, you have to spend 3 4 days, analyze lot of codes, and then only you will understand where is the issue. So that's what is real headache. That's the problem from the day one testing side. And from automation, from the operation side, was the issue. It's difficult to maintain 100% uptime. People or company want frequent changes, but to make your server or application 100% up, it's a challenge for the operation people with the frequent changes. They don't want frequent changes as it makes your production side unstable. So number of servers to monitor, that is also very high, and there was no such tools, no such good tools to manage all these things. It is very difficult to provide feedback and diagnose the issue in production or issue in the product, because there was no such great tool that time. So Nagios was there, something was there, but they were not integrated with each other. Deployment or configuration of the server, configuration means not the hardware configuration, software configuration I'm saying. Your software will run on basis of some environment. If you have ever played any game in your computer or any software, they need some additional packages. If your directx is not proper, then your application or game will not run. So that are as they need some environment, similarly your software application also needs some environment, or your application what you are going to deploy in servers, they also need some environment. So that's called your configuration, software configuration management. So anyway, in this way world moved towards DevOps. All those issues we faced or the limitations we faced from Agile, we moved towards DevOps. Of course, yes. Is this why the this is why we move towards DevOps. DevOps is a way of working which collaborated all phases of SDLC in a common platform where every process started working in asynchronous continuous fashion. As I said, SDLC. Why? DevOps is a way of working which collaborated all phases of SDLC in a common platform. So it's not like for DevOps, it's not something like development is the different, testing is different. No, every process will run at the same time. Every process will run once your code has been written and saved in the server. Your all process will run one by one, everything will be run and continuously. What is continuously? In some configuration or in some scheduled time, everything will be up and run. Everything will be up. Everything means all the processes. Testing will up and it will test will be failure, then it will send back to the developer. If test is successful, then it will go for the deployment. If deployment is successful, then there is a mail. Deployment is a failure, then there will be a mail. So all these are a continuous fashion, because we are not delivering a single time. Continuously we are working on the small requirement. That was done by the Agile. DevOps took it little forward. So we have integrated and common platform that's called DevOps. People will be called as DevOps engineer. There no more will be called as a developer engineer or tester, DevOps engineer. But your core competency, people, some who knows better coding, they will be doing the coding thing. Who knows better working on operation side, they will be working on the operation related tools. But all will be the DevOps engineer. Anyway, it will be a complete team and the common platform for all the SDLC phases. As per theoretical definition, it's from Wiki. DevOps is the practice of operations and development engineers participating together in the entire software life cycle. So operation people and development people, they will participate in entire software life cycle. That's the DevOps model, from design through the development process to the production support, from design to the production. So that means your operation people and development people, they are being combined from the beginning itself. From the requirement analysis, they will be there till the production. Production means till the deployment. So the team will be integrated, the work process will be integrated, and how they will be integrated with help of some tools. And that's our aim, or that's our motto, to learn the tools and their relation, their integration with each other, and how we are achieving this continuous, and that we are delivering in our course. This DevOps essential course we are going to learn. There we will learn about the tools that market needs, market asks, those tools, and what tools are best suited for the job. That tools we will be discussing here. So anyway, seeing about the old style, you need to code, then do a build, then do the testing, deploy. It's a single flow. So once process is done, another process will take it, and then they will try to test it, then test will take it, try to deploy it. That's it. Simple. Before DevOps. After DevOps, it's all a continuous fashion. While you are doing development, same time. Once you are doing development, same time production is going on. Same time some planning is going on. Same time release is going on. So similar time, three of things or four of things are being happening on the same time. Earlier it was not like that. One thing needs to be complete, then only the other thing will be started. But next, in case of DevOps, once development is going on and the same time production is also going on, that does not mean whatever code you are writing now, that is going for production. Whatever you have written or tested, that's going for the production. You are working on the new coding, and the same time it's been going for the production for the old code what you have written. Next planning has been done, and release and deployment will be done for the code you have written. So it's like all the process are running, everything is 24 by 7 is running, and you are delivering. There is a no time gap. So we'll understand when we are learning the tools how we are managing all those things, and the tools people will ask you in the interviews, that we will learn, and that time I will tell you how we are achieving this continuity. Anyone, any queries?
Hi, Piyush.
Yeah.
Can you explain the difference between the production and planning?
Okay. Production and plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, production means when you are going and delivering your product, or delivering
Mm-hmm.
means you're deploying your product into the servers, and then that's called production. That time you are
Okay.
going, so your application will be available for the users to use. Just I'm giving an example of eBay or Amazon. So once they are coming up with some features, so that time, sorry, so once
Yeah, I'm
they are
listening.
coming up, yeah, once they are coming with some features, they want to add it to the production site. So that means that patch or that changes will be deployed in the server. That's called production. And what is a plan? Plan means they have planned it. It's a business thing. They have planned, like, we need some new features to be added. That is called planning. So new feature, that is the initial phase. Everything has to be done with the initial is the planning, business planning or feasibility planning, whether we can do a new requirement change or there should be added any new functionality. That's the planning. Once production is done, you are seeing here there is a relation from production to plan. Why? Production is done means you have delivered your product, you have deployed your product, then you are doing or you are monitoring your product. There may be some issue, or after some certain days of use you may find some new enhancement there. So if you're finding some issue or enhancement, in both of the case it should go to the planning phase, because in plan phase you need to think of why this issue came and how to solve this and who are going to solve this one. If there is no issue, if there is any enhancement kind of thing, that also needs to be planned. how much cost will be involved for this enhancement, who are going to work, how much days it will take, all will be there in the planning phase. So from production, there is a relation to the planning phase. Any queries?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
So next, it's a normal diagram for your or normal picture for your DevOps or all the process. You can see here in case of waterfall how it's being done. A single time we are designing, then for a long time we are doing coding, then the testing and deployment. So how much waiting time for testing and deployment people, for everyone, whoever are working in the team, how much waiting time for them. In case of Agile, we are doing coding testing. I have already said we have splitted the requirement, and on top of that, we have started working. But still, deployment is at the end. You need to deploy the complete product, and that time we were facing issue, and that's a business setback. But in case of DevOps, your coding, testing, deployment, everything will go. Now you can think at the end there is only a small part needs to be deployed, then the complete requirement is over. You don't have to deploy a big project or big requirement. You will be having a very small part to be deployed. That's it. So and everything you have tested at the end sprint, when you are reaching towards the end of your software life cycle or end of your product, that time only few requirements or the last requirement will be there, which will be tested and deployed. All the previous requirement have been tested, and it's working fine. So next at the end, it's a very small thing. So now you can understand how DevOps is helping. All things are been splitted, and very less to deploy at the end. Already you have deployed all the requirements. At the end there will be very small things to be deployed. So time management is very high, and productivity is also very high level when we are going with the DevOps model. So anyway, this is a pretty funny diagram, but here we started with waterfall. Everything is good at their time. So we learned something, and we've grown with something, and now with our continuous operation, we are integrating all the process, continuous deployment, delivery, everything has been included, tools have been included, and we are into a common platform. So anyway, let's see. So common thoughts, why we are going for DevOps and all, what are the requirements? Definitely, as we have learned now, we are part of SDLC. We need to go for our DevOps model, because Agile was the older way now. So new way of working is DevOps, and companies are moving DevOps very fast. Anyway, so what are the processes in case of DevOps? There is 5 process you can see here. The blue things, deep blue things you can see, they are the process. Continuous development, continuous testing, continuous integration, then the continuous deployment, and continuous monitoring. So continuous dev, it includes the business planning and coding phase. Continuous development. So some tools will be involved here. We'll see what are the tools and what we'll be learning. That also we'll see in the next slide. Continuous testing, it involves the build phase and test phase. Build, I said, build means your complete source code will be packaged into some runnable thing. That's called build phase. Then you need to integrate. You need to integrate your changes with whom, with the deployment side. So this integration, you can see here integration, this is a very important phase in case of DevOps. This integrates all other processes of our SDLC model, and it also triggers multiple process, it also triggers the scheduled processes in some each time. So continuous integration is a heart of our DevOps process. So there is a tool called Jenkins. Lot of tools are there, but Jenkins is the market lead now for in case of continuous integration tool. It's integrated from the dev tool till the deployment tool. It triggers all the processes, and it holds the complete platform. So continuous integration is in between, because it holds the complete platform. Once your testing is successful, your complete build has to be given to the deployment side. Who will take care of it? Integration. And the timing, when it will go, the timing, how it, from when the testing has been started, it will be, everything will be managed by the continuous integration. Once it is going to the deployment side, you need to deploy. And what is there? Continuous deployment. You need to deploy and you need to operate. Operate means deployment side, what you are going to do, you need to configure your stuff, configure your environment, everything. That's deployment. Application needs to run, that's called operation. You are going to operate your application. Then continuous monitoring, it's a single monitor phase. Means you need to see whether application is running or not. If it's running, whether is there any headache on the processor or on the RAM, you need to check that one. Or you are facing some enhancement, you are thinking about some enhancement, that time work on that one, and you can just deliver, or you can integrate the same changes with your business phase. So that's called integration with the planning phase. So everything has to be integrated through the continuous integration phase. So important, the most important phase is like continuous integration, and the tool we will be learning is a Jenkins over there. Others are important also, but who holds the complete platform? This continuous integration phase. So 5 phases are there in your DevOps model. Whoever will ask you in the market, wherever you are going, so you need to say that 5 phases and continuous. Everywhere you can see a same term, continuous, because regularly you are doing, regularly you are doing some development, regularly it needs to be tested, regularly it needs to be integrated, continuously you are doing the deployment, because small requirements we are working. We are not going and working on a big requirement at the same time. We are working on the complete, we are working on the small requirements, and then we are delivering it. That's why continuously we are working, and that's what is a continuous, or we are achieving the continuity. So what are the tools available? Tools available are, you can see here, in case of planning we are having Jira, Git, subversions are there. We are not going to learn all the tools, don't be confused. We will be learning the market's best tool and whatever is required over there on your interview time. So that Git tool is there, that we will learn. Then for the business, for the building tool, building, we are having Gradle, Maven, and script is there. Gradle and Maven both are into the same pace, and they are into the same kind of thing. It's not like if you're in Maven you need to upgrade to Gradle, no. So you can, if you are starting a project, you have to decide what kind of build tool you are going to use, whether Maven or Gradle. It's all basically on top of Java. I am saying Maven and Gradle, these are the Java based building tools. If we are going for PHP, we will see what other tools are available. If we are going for .NET, what other tools are available for building our application. Then it comes for the testing. And what are the testing phases? So Selenium, JUnit, this is normal tools I have shown you here. So the tools we need to integrate, and how we can start our testing, that we will see. It's not like we're going to learn how to write the test coding, how to write the software coding. No, we are not going to do that one. We are going to learn the process, how these tools will be integrated, how they are going to be triggered, all those processes we are going to see those things. So here we will see about JUnit integration, Selenium integration, that also we'll see. And integration phase, I missed that Jenkins tool we are going to learn in case of integration. And deployment, what's there in deployment? Puppet, Chef, Saltstack, Ansible, lot of tools are there in case of deployment. So what we are going to learn, we will see Puppet and Ansible. So how they are going to install, and how we are going to manage all those things, that we will see from that phase. So why we are learning all these tools? These tools will be automating all the process, all the configuration thing, and then our deployment, everything will be very much faster, and our product will be delivered without any issue and within a very less span of time. Then we are going for the monitoring phase. In case of monitoring, we are having Sensu, New Relic, Nagios, and ELK is there also. Elasticsearch thing also there. So we'll be seeing what we are going to learn. So next, these are the tool sets. It's not like what we are going to learn we are seeing here. We are seeing what are the tools available. You can go and Google like DevOps tools periodic table. You will find hundreds of tools available there. But whatever we are going to learn, that will be the mostly used and mostly asked in the market. Definitely, do I need to know all? No, it's no. From each SDLC phase, we will learn only one tool that is mostly used everywhere. Wherever you will go, they will ask that kind of tool like Git, Jenkins, Puppet, Ansible, Docker, AWS, those kind of tools we will be learning. So don't confuse that, it will be very heavy. We will go from very basic till intermediate level, so that you guys can understand in proper way, and you don't have any issues. Like if you are going with AWS, what is a cloud? What is AWS? Is there any other services available? So why we are going with AWS? From that level till our deployment, how we are managing. So we will be understanding in that way. So anyway, from each SDLC phase, we will learn one tool. If you are not finding same tool in your company, not to worry, because the tool we are going to learn, it will be used in 90% of the companies. Still some companies will be there where that tool won't be used, but that does not mean you cannot use their tool. it will be same, everything will be same, but only there will be difference of keywords. That's it. That thing we need to take care. And that I will tell what other possible tools will be available if you are going for any other company where these markets tool or best tools are not being used. So anyway, we'll give overview of most of the tools used in DevOps. So don't worry for that one. And in our training session, it's not like I will be talking and you have to listen. You can ask. Everything will be interactive. You can ask me questions. I will answer on top of that one. We will discuss all about the scenario based. I will give you the documentation for the commands configuration. You can do that one. And your testing platform, whatever you will be working on or will be showing in the classrooms, you will be do the practice. We'll give you the platform for practice also. We are having all the cloud platforms, and there you can practice. And you need to practice at least each day. You need to practice for 1 hour or 2 hour, so that whatever will be discussing in the session, you will come up with your questions or your queries will be resolved during the practice time. Anyway, so did DevOps help any companies? Really, you can see Facebook, Amazon, Google, whoever are big companies available in the market, all are into the DevOps only. They are not now, from the beginning. Since 7 8 years, they are into the DevOps process. So they are so much ahead of a normal company. So why? Because their product never goes down. Have you ever seen Gmail is going down where you have typed Gmail and Gmail is not there? No, it's there. Feature is getting changed, but you won't feel the pain like Gmail is not available, Facebook is not available, Amazon is not available. Your Netflix is completely dependent on AWS, and it never goes down. Netflix never goes down. It works because it's completely depend on AWS cloud service, and that's also completely on the DevOps model. So anyway, no words. All the companies what we are seeing, they're all big player of the market, and how? Because they are all into the DevOps model. I'm not saying they're only doing DevOps and that's why they are ahead. Their products, main is the product, and their product never goes down. And who is responsible for it? DevOps. Their product never goes down, and with DevOps they can immediately release their product, and if there is an issue they can immediately revert their product also to the previous version. So like that they are going on. So any change or anything we have seen past days or past years for DevOps example. So Pokemon, if you guys know about Pokemon game last year, it went crazy. Like people went crazy for Pokemon to find here, there, and features are changing like anything. So who did it? Who was the background player? This DevOps, because changing the features, frequently deploying all these changes to the market, it was a complete burden on the DevOps process. So they were doing thousands of deliveries or thousands deployment in a single day. You can go and find in Google about Pokemon implementation, you will find articles there. They were doing thousands of deployment in a single day, multiple changes, and people went crazy for that. That's what people wants, a daily change. If just think about certain scenario, each day you are waking up and each day you are getting some new features in your handset, in your application. So that will be how much. And it's not like any complicated feature, something new that's good for the user you are getting. And you are, so that's the really good. If you're getting something from one application, you will be using that one only. So that will actually going to capture the market. So that's how companies are now targeting the DevOps model, or that's why they are targeting the DevOps model, because they will deliver the product in very less time and with high frequency of changes with nice timeline. So that's the thing people want. And here you can see, let's see the tool sets what they have used in Pokemon. You can see Git, what we are going to learn definitely. They have used this Ant, Gradle, Selenium, and Lodestorm. We will be learning how to integrate Selenium, we'll be learning how to integrate Gradle or Maven, and definitely Jenkins we are learning. Every time the complete course will be covered, every time we'll be learning some part of Jenkins, because Jenkins will be involved at every phase. As I said, it's the integration, it will be integrated with multiple software processes or lifecycle processes. So we'll be learning Jenkins every time. Then definitely we'll be learning Puppet and Ansible. We are going to learn about Nagios also, deployment and monitoring. That also we're going to learn. So next, job scope. It's still December 15th. I have to get the updated graph for our job scope. You can see a J curve. So whoever are into DevOps profile, definitely there is a growth, and not definitely it's sure there is a growth because it's a new way of working and people are into it. So anyway, what are the courses we are going to see? We will be seeing our normal. First is our benefits and history, that's it. Then behind the scene we'll be learning Linux and Python. Behind the scene means every time whatever we are going to work on, sometime we'll be learning about the Linux and Python. There won't be a separate class. If you want, we can make it a separate session for Linux basic commands and Python. It depends upon the class. If you want, we can go for a basic 1 or 2 day session or 3 day session for Linux commands that you will learn, because we need some basic Unix command sets to work on. Then version control tool will be learning JIT. Build management tool will be learning Maven. Gradle is also there, but we will know how to just set up the Gradle. But Maven in details we will learn. Continuous integration Jenkins, definitely we are going to learn. Configuration management Puppet Ansible, this is also there. Monitoring Nagios will be learning. Elasticsearch Kibana things we are going to learn. That is the market very highly popular tool right now. Continuous integration deployment Docker, this is the latest thing in the market. Docker. Continuous container management tool Kubernetes, that also we are going to learn. That is also market latest tool. And cloud essentials AWS, that is also our part. Along with all these things, we'll be learning how to prepare your resume and how to prepare your LinkedIn profile for your job scope, everything, and kind of mock interviews. All these will be scenario based. Whatever we'll be learning will be scenario based, and you guys will do a practice during the class thing also, and after the class also. So like that will be going on in our course. So any queries or any confusion, anything else in your mind?
Hi, Piyush.
Yeah,
I
hi.
just want to, as you said, DevOps is like for the developers and the operations, right?
Yes.
So, are we gonna code something? Are we gonna build some codes? Like,
No, no. I said na means if you are a proper developer, then you are going to write some code. But for learning DevOps, it's not mandatory that you are going to code something. You need to learn the process. Like after
okay,
development, you need to save your code regular basis. As I said, continuously you are doing, continuously you are changing something, and continuously you need to save your changes. So what is the tool? That is called JIT. So that we will learn. It does not mean we are going to learn the Java coding. That we are
oh,
not going to learn. We are going to learn like how to save it continuously, then how to deliver it continuously, how to test it continuously, but not like how to write the testing scenario or how
oh,
to write the source code.
it's more like a bridge connection between both developer and operations,
Yes,
and
yes.
shifting towards more operation rather than coding. Is it? Is
Yes,
it like
yes. It's like mostly the process oriented things. All the process will be continued, process will be there, and will be working on top of that one. So how the process is being so much faster when we are using DevOps, and what are the tools and how we are integrating that we'll be using there.
that? Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So any queries from anyone else?
Hey, Pish, can you tell a little bit more about AWS with the DevOps actually, and
Yeah.
what
In
all
case
we are
of
going to cover?
Yeah, in case of AWS, we will cover up like EC2 instances, ECR instance, and about user creation, IAM user creation. So basically, we will be doing and how to create our database things. So in AWS, how to manage a virtual machine, how to create a registry, how to deploy our application over there, how to manage the user pool things, and how to manage the database things. So these many processes we are going to learn in case of AWS. And if we are going for any other service, how to find which service we should start for our application, or if our application need lambda based service or cloud formation, how to decide that one. So that we will learn. We are not going to learn complete AWS because complete AWS is a different thing, but here in our DevOps essential we'll be learning AWS EC2 instance, ECR, ECS, our S3 bucket thing, then our AWS user pool management along with AWS database management. Those are whatever minimum requirement. Or whenever you are going for any interview, minimum is 1 year or 2 year experience in DevOps. People maximum 2 years of experience in DevOps, they will be knowing all these things.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah.
So any queries for anyone?
Hey Piyush.
Yeah, hi Prashant.
Yeah, I just have a quick question. Based on what we learn in AWS in our course, can we be able to write AWS Associate exam to get
No,
the associate certificate?
no, for associate exam, it will be another AWS course specifically because AWS associate will involve some more things like your cloud formation, cloud watcher, all these things will be involved there. So this is for the DevOps model. DevOps things we are going to learn complete from JIT to AWS deployment along with EC2, ECR, those things. So what we are you are asking for the certification, that's the DevOps, another AWS course
Yeah, I'm just
complete.
thinking having AWS certification will help in getting better jobs along with the DevOps. Yeah, okay, thanks. Thanks for the clarification.
Yep. Thanks, Prashant. Okay. Anyone else? Any queries from anybody?
Uh, Piyush, I just want to know, like,
Yeah.
is this a kind of any repetitive process, or it involves a lot of uh, thinking and changing it time to time? Because, like,
Mm.
yeah, because I don't have any knowledge about this. As I said, I'm a mechanical engineer. I heard testing is a kind. I mean, this is not. I'm not talking about DevOps. Just talking about testing. Testing is a kind of thing which is like repetitive process.
Okay.
If you just know the sequence, it's the same thing. So is it DevOps is also same kind of thing, or it must be changed according to the scenario?
No, no, no. One time, as I said, continuously, what you are doing continuously you are doing testing. You are going or uploading your manual test file somewhere and you are doing the testing. So continuously the task you are doing, that task will be taken care by DevOps. So that one time you will involve or one time configuration you will do. So multiple times it's going to deliver for your process. That means continuously you are doing testing anything, any manual or automation, basically automation. We are going to automate our task and that automated task will be managed by our DevOps model. So one time we need to configure. Once you have configured, you don't have to change anything. Very rarely you need to go and do any changes.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so from anyone, any queries? Okay, I guess no. So fine, thanks all, thanks for joining, have a good day.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. Bye bye.